Some areas of southeast Louisiana still have some pockets of heavy rainfall, whereas others that got in on it earlier in the day have had a bit of a reprieve for the last several hours, which is something that some parts of the metro area desperately needed. Now, there are still storms kind of developing along almost a little boundary here south of the city, and that has been firing up showers and storms for the last several hours. Most of that has stayed south of the city with the exception of the West Bank. We're starting to get a few areas of light, moderate rainfall right over the metro area at this hour. Farther south, again, a lot of these thunderstorms have been, for the last several hours, well down more to our south and starting to see a bit of a break here. And we will see more of a break, but notice how these storms just keep firing up along with that ample moisture from the Gulf of Mexico and more thunderstorms developing just to the south of Morgan City. So more rain to come through the night, bit of a break on the North Shore as well. And exactly where more of these showers that will be firing up go is still somewhat unknown. We will definitely see them more south of the lake into the late night and overnight hours. Now, whether or not they actually move over the metro area at times and go onto the North Shore, as our model is saying, I'm not sure, because the models have not done a perfect job of indicating where these storms will go. But it is indicating more rain during the night, but not all night. As we approach the 3, 4, 5 o'clock time frame, more breaks in the rainfall and may have a bit of a break for the morning commute with more storms during the mid-morning and early afternoon, and then thankfully coming to an end after about 2, 3, maybe at the latest 4 o'clock, with perhaps even some sunny breaks before the sun goes down tomorrow afternoon. So we'll remain through the overnight under that higher risk of street flooding. That'll continue until the rain is clear early tomorrow. And a kind of secondary threat would be any isolated strong or severe storms, and that really doesn't look to be too much of an issue. We've almost picked up 2 inches of rainfall at Kenner, 1.7 at Lakefront, 2 inches of rainfall at Belle Chase thus far. Again, more rain coming. Parts of the metro area saw over 3 inches of rain, and a lot of that what we saw in a short period of time. You get 1, 2, 3 inches of rainfall, and within an hour, you're definitely going to get flooding. As I'd mentioned, through the evening, a low end threat of an isolated strong severe storm, really all we've seen so far with the severe weather threat, some occasional gusty winds, and even some small hail. At the moment, dry but moist, as the humidity is at 90% right now, and that may lead to a little bit of patchy fog during the night. 68 degrees our current reading, and a bit of a breeze out of the east at 16 miles an hour. In the 60s on the map at the moment with dew points high and winds still breezy at times, although winds have been settling where you're not as close to a lot of that rainfall. Most of our winds are driven by the thunderstorms, and so not really a long sustained wind. A lot of this rainfall is thanks in part to a couple of things. We have an upper disturbance out over Texas, and also what is something called a split flow in the upper atmosphere. When you get the motion of the air kind of going in different directions, that motion or that absence of an air mass aloft allows for more vertical motion. In other words, lift instability, and that's where you get the thunderstorms to fire up. And that placement is right now over southeast Louisiana, or much of Louisiana, now moving more into Mississippi. So we'll be watching for the additional storms kind of developing between the city and the coast during the night and overnight. Does look like we're going to see plenty of breaks in that rainfall. So aside from an occasional heavy downpour, I'm hoping the flooding threat through the overnight is limited just because of more frequent breaks. We'll get into some of those storms, and this model has us under heavy rainfall at 8 a.m. so around the morning commute. As I've said, the models are not perfect with this rainfall, but all indicating some clearing of our skies as we go later into the night. So this rainfall round is thanks to an upper disturbance, which will be clearing us by midday tomorrow. Then we get a bit of a break for Wednesday and Thursday, but then here comes another disturbance that'll trigger our rain chances for Friday going into early Saturday. That next round may bring with it a slightly better chance for strong to severe storms, but it'll also bring in a cold front. So our 70% mostly morning and early afternoon, and then wrapping up dry but warm and humid Wednesday, Thursday, and Friday before the rain begins. Showers and storms Friday into early Saturday. Then a cold front moves through. Most of the weekend, very nice and a bit cooler, less humid. Dry weather for Saturday, Sunday, Monday once we're done with the rainfall. And don't forget this Saturday night, Sunday morning, we spring forward 1 hour.